All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy 4th of July. All right. We're going to fix one thing. We got an echo here. So bear with me 1 second as I learn the ins and outs of live streaming with you live here on the call. All right. I think we got it. No more echo. All right. Got it. Let's jump in. All right. Let's start over here. Welcome, everybody. Happy 4th of July. If you're here in the Pacific Northwest, we are blessed with some amazing, beautiful weather for our 4th of July this year. So that's super exciting. I'm super excited to share with you today 3 simple steps to networking success. These are just three cool things that you can implement starting today if you're working today, if you're going to a network event today, right? I think most of us have today off, which is super awesome, and gonna go celebrate this evening with some fireworks and festivities and family and friends, which is super amazing. But if you are working today and you happen to be going to a networking event, then you could absolutely use these today, right? But for everybody else that has the long weekend, you can start using these things next week, right? Um, so when I think about networking and I think about what does it take to really engage in an event that empowers you, enables you to walk away from that event thinking to yourself, man, I freaking crushed that, right? I just crushed this networking event. I got, this accomplished, and this accomplished, and I'm ready to rock and roll. It really takes just three simple steps to do that. And when I think about my early networking events as a sales professional, I think about the the standing around, the not knowing, the walking away thinking, man, that was a big freaking waste of time, and just feeling defeated. I mean, just like this was dumb, right? And it was because I had no system to follow. It was because there was no process, there was no pre-thought, there was no follow up plan. It was all just show up and hope for the best. And man, I can tell you in sales, hope is one of the worst things we can rely on, right? It's not really a good strategy. And so we're going to talk today about some actual strategy that is going to em- enable you to really feel um, like you accomplished something, right? And let me fix my screen share real quick. It's got a little wonky. Sorry about that. Make sure it's all in frame there. So yeah, let's jump right into it. And I'm gonna walk you through this. This is gonna be kind of a short session today, but really impactful, right? If we truly embody these three simple steps, we're going to see a tremendous difference in our results, and not just our results, from the event, but our results internally, right? We're going to walk away feeling accomplished and empowered, and hopefully, right, make some solid connections, maybe even get a couple clients or networking um, industry partners, I like to call them, right? So, what are we going to cover today? We're going to have a quick little introduction here, which we just did. We're going to talk about setting clear goals. We're going to talk about researching and preparing, and your minute to win it, and then we'll wrap it up. So again, three simple steps: setting clear goals, research and prepare, and your minute to win it. And for those of you that stick around all the way to the end, which will be about 20 or 30 minutes here, then we'll have a little surprise bonus tip for you at the end. So be sure and stick around. So let's jump right into it. What do we got? When networking as a sales rep, several key elements to keep in mind to maximize your effectiveness. Uh, Number one, right, setting clear goals. So, what does that mean? We want to define what you want to achieve, whether it's generating leads, establishing new partnerships, or building brand awareness, right? Three solid goals, or you don't have to do all three of those by any means, right? We want to pick one of those, and go in there, right? But these are three great ones to start with. Sure, there's a ton others out there, but when we're talking about networking and networking events, these are some really solid starting points here. And if you focus on one of these, you're sure to, you know uh, to be, feeling great afterwards, and have some success. Number two, research and prepare. We want to learn about the event, its attendees beforehand, and we want to know who you want to connect with and come prepared with valuable insights. I think about, just showing up at an event, not knowing who's there, not knowing, what companies are there, who to ask for, who to look for, right? So we're going to talk about researching and preparing for that. And number three, you got to craft your minute to win it. Your elevator pitch, your 30-second commercial, whatever we want to call it. I like to call it my minute to win it, because really that's what we got. We got about a minute, sometimes less, a lot of times less, to really win that moment, right? And make a connection that is actually meaningful. So you want to develop a concise and compelling elevator pitch that showcases your unique value proposition. All right. So let's cruise on. I'll share a little bit about me, and why I'm even qualified to be here today. So about me, my name's Robert Towner. If we haven't met yet, I'm super excited that you're here. This is my awesome family. We have almost everybody on there. We're missing a couple people, but we'll we'll show them on another show. So my beautiful wife, Marcy, been married almost 20 years. This is our youngest daughter, Amelia, our grandkids, our two little puppies. They're not that small anymore. Only one fits in the chair. And if you know anything about me, I like to have fun. This is several years ago at a fundraising event, and we dressed up as 80s wrestling stars. So always having fun. Life's too short, right? We gotta enjoy ourselves. um the street cred, right? Why how am I qualified? What qualifies me, there we go, to be here today, right? Man, I started my first quote unquote business. It wasn't a business, but it was, right? At third grade, for summer vacation between third and fourth grade, selling crawfish door to door. I grew up really poor, right? And it's when when you're thinking about, man, how am I going to get candy at the corner store, right? Grew up in a really small town, and we had this little corner store. So I would go catch crawfish outside of town and sell them door to door on the way back to town. That was my video game money and candy money. So started sales and selling at a very young age, and really been doing it ever since. Professionally, more than 20 years, probably closer to 25 now at this point. And really actively studying sales and leadership for well over a decade. Um, I've been at the bottom of the spreadsheet. Anybody that's starting out right now, and you're struggling, and you're seeing all these, your peers on the top of the list, and you're like, man, how do I get there? Man, I've been there. Been struggling, at the bottom, near the bottom, and I've also found my way and worked my way to the top of that spreadsheet. And 10 consecutive years in a row was the number one leader producer in the nation at the corporate job before I left. And man, I'm super proud of that accomplishment. It's hard enough to get to number one, right? But how do we get there? And then how do we do it again the next year, and the next year, and the next year, when everybody else, right, is fighting for that same position? And it takes a lot of work. Sales is not the easiest game out there, right? It's pretty intensive, and competitive, and you got to put in the reps. You got to do the work, and that's what allowed me to get to the top and stay there. So super excited about that, and it was a lot of fun. And now I get to help you all do the same. So let's jump into the 3 simple steps to networking success, and we're going to start off with set clear goals. So man, the most important, yeah, we gotta know why we're going, right? What are we doing there? Before attending the event, we got to define those goals and objectives. Are you looking to generate more leads, establish new partnerships, or simply build brand awareness? Any one of these is fine. You can do one, you can do two, you can do all three. When you're starting out, really just recommend pick one of these. Pick one of these, get to the event, accomplish your goal, and then you can decide, do I want to add another one, or do I want to bail, right? And trust me, it's okay to bail on an event once you've accomplished your goals. Um, the last thing here, establish a success metric. Don't just linger. Know when you've reached your target and move on, right? So again, it's okay to bail on that event, right? We're not really bailing on it. We're just, we came, we conquered, and now we can go, right? There's nothing more awkward than just lingering around that event, hoping that something's going to happen. Again, hope in the sales game is not the best strategy, right? We need to have a purpose. We need to have that clear metric. And then the last one here for setting clear goals, it'll help you stay focused and measure your success. Um, what gets measured gets improved, right? So if we show up to that event and we don't have a clear goal, we don't have a clear success metric, how do we know if we accomplished anything, right? To show up and just grab a whole bunch of cards and go back to your office, or go back to the car and start, calling people. I mean, that's one thing, but if we're strategic about our time, and we're doing this with a purpose, we're going to have much greater success, much greater return on that investment of our time and our resources than you would ever have just winging it. All right. Any questions? Any thoughts? Go ahead and drop those in the comments. Right. We're gonna cruise through here today, and if you like what you're hearing and you want to learn more, we're gonna have an opportunity at the end here for some Q&A. And yeah, maybe if drop a note in the chat or the comments. That I'd love to learn more about networking. Just put hashtag networking, and we'll follow up with you and get you some more information and learn how you can get involved in our programs and what we got going on. So, but today let's keep cruising. Research and prepare. Number 3. All right, we got to learn about the event. It's attendees and potential prospects in advance. How do we do that? Well, most events you can email the event coordinator and get a list of attendees, either the people or the businesses. Either one of those is going to be a huge step for you. So whatever event you're going to, feel free, right, to email out to the coordinator, anybody in charge, right, that you can get a hold of, and just be like, hey, I'm looking to attend this event. I'll be there. I would really, love to learn who all is going to be there so I can better prepare and bring as much value as possible, right? They're going to really dig that, and they're going to send you a list, if at all possible. Sometimes it's not possible, but I find that in most cases you can get that list, and it is extremely valuable. So not only do you have the list of who's who and who's there, right? But you also have that list now for follow-ups afterwards. So really, really key. Research the companies and identify the individuals that you want to connect with, right? So that you can have meaningful conversations tailored to their needs, right? If we don't know anything about the companies that are there when we get there, that's not the time to start the research, right? Grabbing, stepping off in the corner and grabbing your phone and oh, who's Jim at Soul Sand, right? What's going on there? Who's this Soul Sand? That's a product from a previous lifetime. And so, yeah, we want to do that research ahead of time, but we can't do it if we don't get that list, right? So when we get the list, look through it, find a couple, 2, 3 companies that you're like, oh my God, this is somebody that I've been trying to get in front of, and do the research, right? And see who's going to be there, see what their products and services are. How can you tailor your message to really resonate with them? And you're gonna you're gonna see tremendous results from this. And lastly, make any significant notes that you want to remember and save them in your phone. Right, that's the thing we're going to use our phone for. Pull up your notes, Apple or Android, whatever your note taking app is, right? And have that handy so that you can quickly glance at it before you go talk to Jim at Pepsi. Or can I say Pepsi? I don't know. I said it. I got a blue screen. I was just thinking, what's a product? Pepsi, right? So, uh, so you can quickly look and see who they are. You already did the research. You took your notes. You're just using that to quickly refresh, right? So networking events can be very distracting, and it's easy to forget, right? Who or what specifics that you wanted to cover. This will help keep you on point and keep you focused. All right. What else? Craft your minute to win it. Man, I love this one. All right. So our 30-second commercial, our minute to win it. What does this look like, right? So we want to craft a concise and compelling elevator pitch that clearly communicates what your company does. So important, right? When we're at the networking event, this is not a sales pitch, right? Number one, like above all else, we're not there to have um, full on sales presentations and get somebody to buy something, right? We're only there if we're there to sell anything, it's to sell the next step, right? Sell the next meeting. So what does that look like? Well, we got to be able to get their attention, right? We got to be able to share our message in a way that leaves them wanting more, right? So we want to include our unique value proposition and how it can benefit the potential customer. We're going to go into an example here in just a minute, but ultimately, right, what value are you bringing to that conversation, to that company, to that individual that they're going to be like, oh man, I need to hear what this guy's got going on. I want to schedule a meeting, right? That's the response that we're going for. And when we get that, then we're done. We accomplished our goal. We're going to move on to the next attendee and start that process again. Make sure it can be delivered in a minute or less, right? Everybody there's busy. It's a lot of chaos and commotion going on usually, right? So we got to be quick. We got to be concise, short and sweet, a minute or less. So what does this look like? Uh, Leaves them wanting for more, right? When we jump in there, we're 30 seconds to a minute, and they're like, we wowed them, and they're ready for more, right? So then we can schedule that meeting. We can schedule that follow up. Hey, Jim, great to meet you. I'm going to put you in my calendar here. I'm going to follow up with you early next week, and we'll get a meeting set on the books, right? If you can schedule the actual meeting at the event, even better. But at the minimum, we get their contact info, and we can then reach out when we said, right, whatever's appropriate, and get that set up. So the example, what does this look like? Uh, so you're walking up to somebody, and Jim, the attendee, right? Hey, so what is it that you do? Well, me, what is the first thing that you think of when you think of salespeople? And the general answer is usually not pleasant. High pressure, used car sales, dishonest, right? And so my response, this is my minute to win it. Hey, Jim, you're not alone. Really, what we're doing is changing the negative perception of salespeople through strategic, value-based, high ethics training and coaching, empowering them with the tools and strategies to excel in any environment, ultimately outperforming and out-earning the competition, ensuring their and their company's success. And then we just stop. And we wait. This is the uncomfortable part, right? Patience is key, right? So we want to wait for their response. If we jump in and we start talking more, that's not our 30-second commercial, right? This is our 30-second commercial, our minute to win it, our elevator pitch, and we want them to want more, right? So leaving that last line there, ultimately outperforming, out earning competition, ensuring their and their company's success. If somebody's struggling in sales, their team is struggling, they're right. This is this is going to catch their attention, right? So whatever it is that you're providing, whether it's a product or a service, and we have full, courses that really dial in and show you how to craft this in a really strategic way. Um, but this is a great example, and you can follow this. You can follow this example here with your product or service, and it's going to make a difference. You're going to be amazed at the responses, and you're going to get a lot more meetings and make more connections with this approach. So that's our 3 steps. And bonus point for everybody that's stuck around here. We're coming up on the half-hour mark, which is about where we wanted to wrap up today. And so thinking about the bonus point, we want to take time afterwards to evaluate your performance and learn from each networking event. We want to identify what worked well, what could be improved for future events, and continuously refine your approach to maximize your effectiveness. This is probably, I would say, the most important point, right? That if we're not evaluating and taking a look at what we did, what worked, what didn't, how do we get better, right? Growth is a process, and this is a part of the process that is so often overlooked and missed, that if we if we don't spend the time to another thing to call this is an after action review, right? It's a time to really take a look at the actions that we've done, right? The success that we had, the failures that we went through, and learn from those, and then refine that approach, to maximize your effectiveness going forward, right? So let's recap. We got set clear goals. We want to define what you want to achieve, be it generating leads, establishing new partnerships, or building brand awareness. Research and prepare. We want to learn about the event, its attendees beforehand, know who you want to connect with, come prepared with valuable insights. We want to craft our minute to win it pitch. We want to develop a concise and compelling elevator pitch to showcase your unique value proposition. And we want to evaluate your performance with an after action review. All right. That takes us to the end here. Real quick, we want to talk about who we serve, and we're looking for aspiring entrepreneurs. You know your business operations inside and out. You're great at what you do, but struggling to grow your business. We help entrepreneurs grow their business. Sales professionals, you're new to sales, hungry to learn and grow. You see how others are crushing their game, but there's something holding you back. We have training and programs, coaching for sales professionals on the individual scale. Corporate teams, you have one or more rock stars crushing quota, a handful of go-getters, and a couple of rookies. You can see massive potential, but struggle to get everyone on the same page. We have programs and boot camps and coaching trainings to help get everyone in alignment and bring all of your team up to crushing quota. All right. That's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out today. Happy 4th of July. Again, my name is Robert Towner, and this is Accelerate Sales, and this has been all about networking and your 3 simple steps to crushing your network success. We'll be talking more about networking this month, and we'll each Thursday, 9 o'clock, we'll be back on here and sharing some more. So again, if you love what you saw today and you want to learn more, go ahead and drop a comment. Just put hashtag networking, hashtag accelerate sales, and we'll get back to you. Also, feel free to reach out on LinkedIn or Instagram. We're active on both of those, and also on Facebook. So really looking forward to seeing y'all next week. And again, have a happy 4th and have a great long weekend. Take care.